Very, very different. I mean, this really wasn't your typical theme park experience.
Universal Studios Resort in Orlando, Florida has become one of the first theme parks in the world to reopen to customers since the COVID-19 lockdown, and we've been there to see it in action. But amid the global pandemic, will it ever be the same again? How will we socially distance on a ride? And is it too early to start reopening public attractions? We've got all the answers and an exclusive look inside the all-changed Universal Studios on this week's Some Travel Show. Hi, I'm Lisa Minot, and this week we're talking theme parks and the procedures they're putting in place to reopen following the coronavirus pandemic. But first, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I'm delighted to be joined now by Simon Veness, Orlando theme park expert and author, who was one of the first to go into Universal Studios Resort this week when they reopened. Hi Simon.
Hey Lisa.
What was it like going back in?
Very, very different. I mean, this really wasn't your typical theme park experience. Right from the time of arriving, where you get your temperature check, they put the little thermometer thing to your forehead and check your temperature. The fact that everybody's in masks, there are notices everywhere about staying safe and maintaining your social distance. So there's lots that's new. It really feels different. It didn't feel uncomfortable, to be honest. And the ideal thing about the situation at the moment is they're doing everything with reduced capacity.
Well, that sounds great, but obviously theme parks can't make their money if they're only having a certain number of people in there. So what kind of capacity are they at the moment? Is it sort of very small amounts?
I mean, they're not saying exactly what the capacity is, but judging by the usual wait times for the rides that I saw this week, and comparing that with the usual time for this time of year, I would say they're about 30 to 35% of their regular capacity, which is obviously very low from their point of view. That's not ideal for a theme park to be that light. The funny thing there was that the opening day this week, we saw all the annual pass holders who were allowed back for the first time flock in, at the 1 minute to opening time, so that there was a crowd around the parking area where you have to come in, and we saw long lines there. But really, once you got into the parks, things were relatively subdued. It's all very well opening at 35% capacity and managing your crowd to that extent. They will only say at the moment that they will be ramping things up very slowly. We will see a much lower attendance than we usually see.
In terms of the actual rides themselves, I mean, obviously social distancing on a roller coaster is going to be quite a challenge. How are they doing that? Are they making people who are not part of the same group stay away from each other or sit away from each other?
Yep, and we saw very, very clearly that groups were separated from their next group by usually a row. So you saw, big gaps actually at times in the ride vehicles. So that was quite eye-opening. Obviously, they can do that with this level of crowd without getting great long wait times. Because I mean, the longest I waited for anything, the general walk-up rides, I didn't wait any longer than 20 minutes for anything.
Wow, now that is unusual for a theme park. So tell me a bit more about the virtual rides though, or the virtual app for...
Yeah, now this is going to be absolutely key for everyone coming, not just to Universal, but to all our theme parks once everyone is able to get back in. Use the online app that comes with Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, all of them. They all have their own mechanism on your handheld device, and that will keep you in touch with the latest queue times, the ability to order food online so that you don't have to touch anything. You can pay with your mobile device. So it's all designed to be cashless and touchless as much as possible. And now the virtual queuing system is going to be an absolutely vital component in that, because when you first come into the park, you can go onto the app, open up all the rides, and you'll see the ones, they're designated virtual queue. And you scroll down and you apply for a virtual queue time and click the button, and it will give you a time to come back later in the day when you've only got a minimal wait.
And in terms of, obviously, for the Brits, Orlando, for some readers, is a huge interest, huge pull. Looking into your crystal ball, when can you see Brits being able to return to Orlando? And also, do you think there's going to be, I'm slightly concerned myself that a lot of them would have bought tickets in advance of their trips. If those trips are now either put off, can they get their money back? Or if they're due to go out this summer and there's a reduced number of people in the parks, are they going to be able to use those tickets?
Yeah, I mean, these are really serious questions. And I think these are the questions that the parks are actually wrestling with at the moment, trying to figure out, because first of all, they've got to cater for the domestic market, which is 90% of their business. Then they've got to figure out what they can do with the international market. The UK is still a big market for them, even though it's not huge in volume terms. We spend a lot when we're here. We spend a lot of time here. The key elements for exactly how this will impact UK visitors with existing tickets, we don't know yet. Disney have said that all their tickets will be good right the way through September next year. So if people are putting off their holidays, they can still use their tickets up to and including that time. That's good. And we pretty much expect we're going to see all the theme parks do that in the course of the next few weeks and months, as the picture for international travel, which, we keep coming back to this now. The FCO obviously is saying don't fly, or you can't fly. The US still has a travel ban on most of Europe, including the UK. We've no idea when that will be relaxed. And these are all going to be the questions that will be answered in the next few weeks. And that once we know them, then you kind of go back to the theme parks and say, okay, now with people coming back, how is this going to work? And they can then give us more answers.
It's great to see you and love to speak to you again. And hopefully we'll catch up very soon back in Orlando.
All the best, Lisa.
It's time to answer some of your holiday and travel questions. First up, we've had an email saying, when will we be able to travel by train for a UK holiday? Well, unfortunately, not anytime soon. We're still in lockdown at the moment and we're not allowed to travel for anything other than just a day trip. I would say that really, realistically, it's going to be July before we're able to travel by train for a holiday. Another email I've had asks, what's the position with travel insurance regarding COVID-19? Will I be covered for medical risks? Well, actually, that's a really interesting point. While many insurances now will not cover coronavirus for cancellations, so you won't be able to cancel your holiday because of coronavirus and get your money back, a lot of them now are starting to actually cover you for the medical risk. So should you fall ill abroad with coronavirus, they will cover medical bills. One company I know for sure that's doing that is Staysure. Please don't hesitate to get in touch by commenting below this video. I hope today's episode has helped you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time on the Sun Holiday Show.